Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another movie review from the NolaNerdPodcast. We are the Nola Nerds, and now we are featuring two guest stars joining the usual stalwart officiators.
I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
I'm Scott.
And we are introducing Scott with his luxurious beard, and new Scott with his less than luxurious
He's working
beard.
on it.
He's working on it. You got to give it time. That's Andy, new Scott Andy. You might recognize the two of them from our weekly comic book audio podcasts. If not, that's where they're from. We decided to drag them along for some movie reviews because they were with us when we went to go see it.
Yep.
Tonight, or today, or this particular video is about the newest movie, Amazing Spider-Man, that we saw at the midnight premiere last night.
Yes.
This video is brought to you by the Amazing Spider-Man video game, which you should not play before seeing the movie because it is a sequel to the movie and takes place directly after it.
Cross-marketing.
Don't cut me out of frame, bro.
Also Bing.
Anyway.
And Bing!
No, we are never
Love
brought
Bing.
to you by... No one loves Bing.
Spider-Man loves Bing.
No,
Peter
Spider-Man
Parker
got
uses
paid to love Bing.
Yeah.
Spider-Man uses a lot of Bing in this movie.
And Sony Bio.
Man, Bing is so awesome.
Let's just say one thing right out. This movie was better than we had any anticipation
It's the
for.
X-Men first class of this year.
Pretty much.
We came up with a theory. It's not really a theory, but more just X-Men First Class from last year was one of those movies that
Surprise.
it came out and you're like, why is this movie even
No
made?
hype.
It had terrible marketing. You're just like, you couldn't really understand the point of it. Then it comes out and exceeded expectations and became a really good movie, and that's exactly what this is. It's this year's X-Men First Class. And we know a lot of people that thought that exact same thing. We went to a local GameStop to visit a friend, and he asked us how the movie was, and we said, we all started talking about how great it was, and everyone in the line was turning to us like, really? It was good? And we're like, yeah, go see it. So, in a nutshell, the TLDR version of this review is, movie's great. Go see it.
It's good, better than the first one.
Better than the first
And
Tobey Maguire.
obviously the third one.
That you have to. You can't.
Jury's out on the second one.
You can't talk
Yeah.
about this movie without comparing it to Tobey Maguire. But for my money, Andrew Garfield is a much better Spider-Man.
Much better.
Yeah.
I think Tobey Maguire is a better actor.
And
Yes.
I think that Andrew Garfield played a better Spider-Man.
and Emma Stone is
Exactly.
a better leading lady than Kirsten Dunst as Gwen Stacy.
Emma Stone was a better love interest in this film than I
They
think
had better chemistry.
they
Right.
definitely did.
You're right.
And I think a lot of Andrew Garfield's appeal was the fact that they wrote a better Spider-Man in this movie.
They did.
Spider-Man in the comics has always been a very quippy, witty, has a lot of just one-liners and snark while he fights or just does anything, and that was sorely lacking in Tobey Maguire's
I mean, he had a
trilogy.
couple,
But nothing what we associate with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
This movie, he was talking nonstop all
cross
day.
to the face and
It
stuff.
was
like
awesome. Like, it's just exactly what I anticipated a Spider-Man should have been on the big screen.
Mhm.
And we finally got that level of smart-ass that
Also,
we didn't get.
The web swinging was much better because
Oh.
they did a lot of parkour inspirations
I
to it.
love that.
And-
yeah.
And I mean, admittedly, the CG is better. It has been 10 years,
Yeah.
but the way he moved, even when the practical effects looked way better than it did.
There's a lot more stunt work than
Yeah.
And
the
and
original.
even just a small thing like making it a web shooter and then explaining where the super strong web came from. It was an Oscorp bioengineered high
He never
tensile
used it.
thread.
He never ran out.
Well, he ordered a whole bunch. You're right. I kept expecting one scene where he ran out of fluid.
Like
but,
in the cartoons.
Yeah.
But it never happened.
It's like, oh no,
I
I'm
was
out
expecting-
of fluid again.
But apparently, this Spider-Man's smarter, and I also like that they really played up the fact that Peter Parker is a fucking smart motherfucker.
Genius.
Like, he's top of his class or close to it. Completely understands his father's formulas. I really also like that. No other origin story really touches on his parents.
No, not really. They don't really talk about it at all, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention the elusive man is Uncle Ben. That's what's up.
Martin Sheen for the rest.
Martin
of us.
Sheen for anyone that doesn't play Mass Effect, but
I kind of like the. This also is my favorite thing. It has not super fragile old Aunt May who's
Oh
going
my
to die
God.
if a wind hits her too hard.
seriously, this new Aunt May is
She's tough.
in
She's a little
another-
more feisty.
in
She's
another
younger.
comparison to Tobey Maguire's movie. Their Aunt May, you never felt like you were about to be subjected to a 30-minute just.
Peter, I have to
Let me tell you a long and boring story about
your uncle and how he was so great back in the First War.
I mean,
Oh.
this Aunt May
Heart
acted
attack.
more like you would think your Aunt would, who just lost
Like,
her.
yeah,
you know.
she's old, but she's a tough broad.
Yeah,
She's feisty.
Yeah.
she and
And that is my favorite thing the Ultimates did, was not make Aunt May some weak
ass
old
bitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some odd things. Number one, not once is the phrase "with great power comes great
But
responsibility."
they kind of
They allude to
around.
it. They dance around it.
Responsibility is mentioned once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Then starts to talk about.
I can see some purists complaining about that. I didn't think it was a big deal.
Like,
I thought it was odd.
It's fine.
That's like one of the core things. You know?
You got the general idea.
Right.
Yeah. And another thing was he didn't needed money to wrestle. Like
Yeah.
he didn't wrestle for money.
He didn't wrestle at all. He just
No.
And I'm
Yeah.
fine with
But
that.
it changed where I don't know if we
But-
can say
but you
it,
still-
You still got
still
the
got
same
that
idea
wrestling,
yeah.
for the match.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
which is
also
cool.
Macho Man's dead. You can't do it without Macho
There you
Man.
go.
Bones always ready.
No, but I like with the whole convenience store
Yeah.
was being
Yeah.
robbed. Peter Parker didn't stop.
It seems more.
Modern.
It seems more believable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
You know.
It was.
As opposed to like
guess.
the 16-year-old going to wrestling and
Right.
being awesome.
in like a cheap Spider-Man costume.
My one real complaint about this movie is for someone, a character whose central theme is protecting his identity, Spider-Man takes his mask off a lot and gives up his identity every fucking 12 seconds.
I was
Seriously.
Quite a
kind
bit.
of yeah, that kind of bothered me.
I mean, I understand you don't want your lead actor behind a mask the whole time, so you have to keep coming up with creative reasons why to take off his
But
mask.
the thing
yeah.
with the kid was, I thought that was good. 'Cause
That was
he
nice.
sick.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
I was fine with that.
That was good. That was a perfect Spider-Man moment.
It was. It showed. I like the arc he had in this, where he just learned. He never was told he had to have great responsibility, but he still has it. He felt the need to never give up because first, it was a problem he created. Second, these people need my help, and I can help them. It's my job to help them, type of thing. And I like that about him. It was nice. What
Yeah.
about you, Andy? What did you like about this movie?
I mean, I really liked it. The only thing I couldn't get into the lizard. Like, I think the
The Koopa?
lizard was an
Wait,
interesting
hold
villain
on. Uh-huh.
to start with, but I found the film more interesting in like how Peter Parker became Spider-Man, his relationship with Gwen Stacy. I wasn't big on his, the lizard. It was just kind of like there.
Speaking of the lizard, if you're a big fan of the early 90s Super Mario Brothers movie,
Which
you'll
you
be
are.
pleased
But
to
you know
hear-
what it is.
that they appropriated one of the old Goomba costumes to be the lizard, because that is exactly what he is. Kurt
That's what
Connor's
the
lizard
face looked like.
is
Yeah.
a Goomba from the Mario movie.
Racy Fonts was good. As
He
the
was
Lizard.
good
He
as
was a
Kurt
great-
Connors, but the
I don't know. I wasn't. I mean, he's not going down for me as the best
No.
Spider-Man villain, but I like the whole
he never was.
the fight between the human brain and the reptilian animal instincts kicking in.
My one issue with the lizard, and it's something I saw in another review, and I didn't understand what they meant to this point, is that there was a potential for something, because there's a scene where all the lizards in New York are migrating to him.
Yeah.
And they didn't
Right.
do anything with that. They were just there. Just
Yeah, it
hanging out.
seems like that was probably a
Because
deleted scene or something.
when Adjectiveless X-Men was rebooted, the main arc was against the lizard, and he had a whole lizard colony around him that helped him fight the X-Men. But I thought there was a missed potential there.
Deleted scene, I guess. I don't know.
They could have done
He
stuff.
also made a
like-
lizard army too for a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They didn't
and they didn't do
I
anything.
thought they
Okay.
could have like done something when the gas and everything.
The main
Yeah,
climax.
they could have done something
Yeah.
like that where he could stop them before, because they're terrorizing. They could terrorize people, but he can also stop them because they're not fully formed yet.
Yeah.
Should have done something with that.
I think the ending worked out nicely.
Yeah.
I just one
Oh.
scene that always stuck out with me was the fight in the high school between Spider-Man and the Lizard.
That was a great fight.
That fight showcases just how great the action and the choreography had gotten over the Tobey Maguire trilogy.
Right.
And also how much better practical effects are.
Oh yeah, I mean, and just the smartness that, because Peter Parker always fought smart too.
Yeah.
Like he didn't just blindly go into a fight. He he would react to how things happen and adjust to that. So the way he would use his webs in the fight with Lizard, just over the course of that fight, got progressively more inventive.
Yeah.
And I really liked that.
There's a scene where he's crawling over him like a spider,
him up. Cocooning him up, and that is the most vivid image in my head from that entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I think the movie really benefited from not having Norman Osborn or any Osborn mentioned.
Exactly.
Yeah, they almost wrote him off.
Yeah,
and
you know what's great?
Oscorp's there. All we know about Osborn is that he's sick, and the whole recombinant DNA species genetics thing is designed to help him.
Yeah.
They're all working hard to help him. Peter's father was killed because he came up with a solution but didn't trust Osborn with it and ran away. We never see him. We only get his proxy, his Mercer, as it were.
He's an Indian Mercer.
But I really like it. I mean, we after the credits, you get a quick scene where we're pretty sure you're introduced to the villain of whatever sequel is coming up.
Which is very exciting.
The Sinister Six Initiative.
That's
basically what it is.
Yeah.
How cool would that have been? I don't know.
I almost like that though. There's almost this little other Marvel
like a little parallel
film.
Scott came up with a great
Spider-Man.
theory for that. Why don't you let them know?
No, I don't want it to be ruined or anything.
It's not ruined because it was never said. It's not a spoiler. This is
True.
just.
All right. Well,
I really like your theory.
There was going to be Spider-Man 4 and 5, Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi, and Sam Raimi wanted the Lizard, and after that one was going to be the Vulture. And Sony said no because they thought they were well known to do this. So anyway, they got a new script, new writer, new director. They did the Lizard anyway. So I think.
And the guy at the end, I'm not going to tell you the scenario behind it, but it looks like an old man in a hat and a fedora and a cane.
Yeah.
And
so it will be probably.
We think it's Vulture. And then that would parlay directly into a third trilogy where then you would finally get Osborn coming out from the shadows. If I had to guess the arc, that would be
that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Green Goblin was always one of Spider-Man's worst foes. It never made sense to me to have him fight him first.
Yeah, because everything's downhill.
Yeah.
Then it's like a Batman movie where you have the Joker first.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you end up fighting the Riddler.
Right. Exactly. But
if you
overall,
do the Riddler right, it's good.
You can.
Right. Yeah. Back to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Acting wise, I thought it was just solid all around.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield was a great Peter Parker.
Dennis Leary was fantastic.
I was getting to him. Dennis Leary as Captain Stacy was great.
One of Dennis Leary's friends, who's a comic book reader, when he first met him, he said, "You will be an awesome
Captain Stacy."
Captain Stacy. So that's why he tried out for the role.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
I know. And just what's her name? Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy was great. So overall, the casting was great. The CGI and the special effects were phenomenal. The action was well choreographed.
Love the new costume.
The dialogue was snappy and just felt natural. Like you didn't get any of those hokey superhero parts where you just groan and you're like, okay. Overall, I definitely like this first film over Tobey Maguire's first film, and I was a big fan of the original. But this one definitely just struck better for me. I give this movie a 9, and it's a definite purchase when it comes out. Definitely.
Yeah, I give it a 9 as well. Love the new suit. I think the new suit made it look more acrobatic.
Yeah, we never mentioned that. His new suit with the more basketball style dimpled leather was a great look.
He looked more like
it looked like Ben Reilly's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Costume.
I'm gonna give this one a 9. Also, it's definitely a day one purchase for me. I totally enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing it again. We didn't see it in IMAX or 3D.
No.
Yeah.
But I heard from our good friend that the 3D was actually really well done in this.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Really loved it, but the Lizard, I can't really care about the Lizard. But I'm very excited for
whatever's next.
Another trilogy, whatever's next.
Okay, well, email us at NolaNerdPodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at NolaNerdPodcast.com. Check us out on iTunes at NolaNerdPodcast.com. It's free to check out for our audio podcasts. Subscribe to us, rate us, review us, check out more of our videos. That's about it. I'm Matt,
I'm Chris.
I'm Scott.
I'm Andy.
and we're the Nola Nerds, and go see Amazing Spider-Man.
Do it.